It's a shame that nobody notices either of our haircuts when we get haircuts, right?
It's a shame that nobody even notices us.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. But I had a great experience as I was waiting to get into the barber chair, right?
Okay.
There was a gentleman who got out on one of the other chairs and came and had an interaction with my barber.
Okay.
He's a man named Boris. He's a Russian Jew. He's like
even better.
He's like born in Russia, this guy.
Speaking
Nice
my
enough
language.
guy. And so, as this...
Nothing wrong with being born in Russia.
Nothing wrong at all. As this old man is leaving...
Yes.
Boris goes, "Hey, man, have a good one." And this old man goes... "Happy New Year." Like Yom Kippur is a secret. like if I was gonna say, "What did you say?" Huh?
It's a speakeasy situation.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy leaves and he
was
pulls a
an
lever and like all this Jewish garb comes out.
Exactly. It was like I was waiting for him to like peel aside his mustache.
Uh-huh.
My God, we're in this together. But anyway, we're back. Bellhop Productions, Ryan Quigley, Ephraim Bernie, the Hear Me Out podcast.
It's back, baby. I know you missed us from last week.
We've gotten all your hate mail.
You've gotten hate mail before.
I sure have, and the only hate mail we've gotten have been from people we know.
Yeah,
that's the interesting part. No, we even got a few from people we didn't know.
People who didn't. We've already talked about them on here. People that didn't like the video game stuff.
Well, we've gotten on video games. People hated straight white guilt orgies. They hated
it.
They hated that. Remember, we ran an ad campaign for orgies. And like 3 different people were like, "Wow!"
Oh, I'm totally remembering this.
They were
now.
like, "Wow, this isn't funny."
I can take true critique.
Yeah,
honest critique. But they just didn't like the name.
I don't know. Maybe
I remember a bunch of comments coming in and people saying like, "Why don't you get the fuck out of here with your clickbaity name?"
That's right. Yeah. That's right. They were just upset that it worked and they didn't actually start watching porn.
But see, that's actually where it's really good clickbait because we tricked them into watching something that's not good.
But it's still only
they probably spent their whole afternoon arguing, mad about that.
But we still only got like 115 views on it or something.
Yeah,
you know.
That's good for us. If you watch any of the Let's Plays, that's like, if I see it's got more than 20 views, I consider that a victory.
Well, we have nothing on YouTube organically. For a lot of different reasons, but we would need to run some kind of campaign. You know, I tried to do the YouTube ad trailer campaign for.
Did that not work?
The trailer? Yeah, no, it didn't work. It hasn't worked, and I've been too depressed to really look into it.
Why? What was the reason for it not working?
So at first they tell you
too ugly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at first they tell you that like, oh yeah, no, we're going to review it. It's going to take probably 1 day. Sometimes it can take up to 3 days, but usually it's a day.
Okay.
I waited like 5 days. And so it said like, oh yeah, enabled, it's all good, but it's not running.
It's not running.
And so then they're like,
can you tell?
It still has like 0 views.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. But like, it's not running, and they say, well, maybe you need to boost up your ad bid because it's a bidding system.
Okay.
Again, it's something that I don't quite understand.
Yeah.
But they said like, oh, make a higher bid on your settings or something, and maybe finally it'll go.
This
but
sounds like a scam.
Exactly, and there's like no instructions.
Yeah,
there's like no. So I'm gonna need to like call you like Google Ads services, and
it's honestly the same thing with the posting the podcast on iTunes. I don't know if we ever got approved. And
it's so bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know if it's up there. We might be top of the charts on iTunes.
You think so?
I don't know.
You think so?
It's certainly not. When you go on our Buzzsprout account and check, it still doesn't say anybody's looked at it besides me.
You know, on like SoundCloud, we've had like 2 listens. Which is 2 more than we could ever
Hey,
expect.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Of course, they all come from people who had the first, 7 decibels of pi in their name, in their username.
That's true.
It's all people who are
That's true.
user 26, you know.
I know. But before, because we have an aim for this episode.
We have an aim.
But
Account.
We spoke briefly about my Jewish encounter at the barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it, but you are part Jewish. But you don't.
Yeah.
You don't really.
I'm
go to the party.
Jewish in the racial aspect, if that makes any sense.
I see.
I've got Ashkenazi or whatever.
Ashkenazi.
Well, they're coming to arrest me now.
Yeah.
No, because my mom, her family is Jewish, and they went down to Tennessee to inherit a box corporation where they make boxing. But it was also because my uncle has terrible asthma, just like me, and they said, if you want him to live, you got to get him out of the city. He's gonna die. I'm kind of offended they didn't say the same thing about me.
They're like, this one will be. If this one dies, we got Gus. We got Gus. It's fine.
That's our real cash cow.
Yeah, exactly. Anything he does is gravy on top.
They went down to Tennessee, and she was born and raised down there, and in the 1960s, you didn't want to be Jewish in Tennessee.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, in rural Tennessee.
Wow.
So, and my mom is so blasé about it. She's like,
that's incredible.
She's like, I don't know anything about that. Why do I don't care.
Connie's one of my favorite people ever, man. She's just... I love her, the way I love her perspective on everything.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Connie Shulman will be a guest on the podcast.
Connie Shulman my mom will be a guest on this, and you can Skype in and ask embarrassing questions.
We should start collecting questions for Gus, is what we should.
I mean, I think it's really cute that you think anybody would send them in.
Well, I think obviously not if we post an Instagram story saying, "Hey, any of you guys want to ask Gus Bernie a question?" You know, that's not going to happen. But if she posts on her Instagram and says, "Hey, I'm going to be on this podcast. If you have any questions, I'm only going to answer them on the podcast."
Hey,
so go follow Bellhop and ask your questions.
Yeah, I don't think she'll do that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you, Gus.
I'm
for the
open to
support.
being surprised. Thanks, Gus, for supporting us.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you've ever wondered why I have this pillow back here,
oh yeah,
it's because I need lumbar support, but also. Me and Ryan once upon a time made a TV pilot with this handsome gentleman.
Kyle Kazachka.
We're gonna get to him. He's actually he's like the epilogue of the story.
He is. He is.
But look at how handsome and tired we are.
We're so tired.
We just got into a big fight too before we took this picture.
Yeah, we were livid at each other, and Connie forced us to take a picture. This was at 1 a.m. We were all exhausted.
It's very good.
But this is sort of an origin story for the two of us. And how we got started on everything.
Well, we'll talk about the real origin story another time. The horror movie that we were in. Where we were told to pursue a career in fast food.
Yeah, a literal and figurative horror movie.
Coming of age.
Yeah.
But me and Ryan weren't really friends, and still aren't.
No, we're not friends.
Until I wrote a script a bad script to a television pilot that I stupidly thought at 19 I was going to be able to get on Netflix for whatever reason.
I mean, stupider things have happened in the world.
Yeah.
It was just we did everything to ensure that couldn't happen.
Yeah.
You know?
So it all started. I had written a script. I had met an ex-Rockette, Phoebe Pearl, on a Phoebe Pearl. Shout out to Phoebe Pearl. An excellent landlord, not my landlord, but from what I hear.
I'm sure she has a great reputation.
She had I had met her on my friend Sebastian's film shoot for his student film, and then
Sebastian Monjus.
Sebastian Monjus, and another excellent landlord.
Excellent landlord, from what I hear.
And she introduced me to this man, Joe Cicchini.
Joe Cicchini.
Joe Cicchini.
That's all I'm going to be doing this.
Ryan never got to meet Joe, and it's a real shame that you never got to meet Joe, because Joe is maybe one of my favorite characters in this story.
I've never met him. I've only heard the ridiculous.
The way I'm probably going to talk about it, he's going to sound like one of the mafia members from The Simpsons.
That's right. He is. He sure is.
Where he's like, "Hey there, what's going on?" But he. I had sent the script to Joe, who was a short film producer. Still is. He's actually got a very cool thing out right now. Something Captain Morgan's Cabin or something.
Yes, look it up. It's great.
But I had sent him the script, and he writes back the next day. He says, "Ephraim, this is the best script I've read all month." All month.
It was the second of the month.
It was the second. Yeah, I didn't read anything yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
But he says, "Let's get together. We're going to talk about how to make this thing." So I'm hyped. I'm thinking, okay, we've got an ex-Rockette involved. We got this guy involved. This is going to be big.
I mean, that's all you really need.
So we gather a melding of the minds. We get all my friends together. And
that was idea wrong number one.
All idea wrong number. I thought I wouldn't have to pay anybody if I got my friends together. I ended up getting a bad thing, and I paid them.
Yeah,
but the important people to know that were at this first meeting was Joe Cicchini and my good friend Lauren Shiv Prasad's boyfriend at the time, Elijah. You can see on his face. We were sitting down. We filmed a little trailer. This trailer took 3 months to film. If you understand, the actual 30-minute pilot was filmed in 5 days.
Well,
over the...
It's more complicated.
It's more complicated than that. But the first go-around...
It was a max of 7 or 8 days.
This Indiegogo teaser trailer...
Which we did... Go ahead, talk about the trailer first.
Took about 3 months to make. And it was constantly...
How long was it again?
It was like 2 minutes.
It was a 2-minute trailer.
Yeah.
Everything was shot very poorly.
Yeah,
I want to make sure that's very clear.
It's shot poorly, edited poorly.
If you hate the stuff we do,
I look like I'm maybe 5 years old.
Exactly. Yeah. If you hate the stuff that we do, you should go back and watch this stuff.
Because you'll only hate us more.
Exactly.
But essentially, we had gone. Joe was helping us do everything. He was helping us film everything, and he was going to help us raise money. I sat down.
I wasn't involved at this point.
Yeah, Ryan wasn't involved in this. While we're filming it, because I didn't know how much we were asking for in this trailer. So he's got the camera on me. There's a shot where he comes in and whispers in my ear. He says, "We're going to ask for about $30,000." And I'm like, "We are."
Was that really the first time he had said it to you?
No, he had it
was a good bit.
It was a good bit, but it was right beforehand when he had said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, "So you're gonna ask for $30,000?" That's really what I thought was gonna happen. But we had lots of different takes. We went to his apartment where he was living to shoot again. It was just me and Jackie Abbott and him, and we were sitting there waiting for someone to come and film us. But he said,
Jackie Abbott
again. Just an episode of Shoutouts.
She's amazing.
Amazing
actress. I'm not even kidding.
There's no joke there. She's just very good.
Yeah, very funny.
We showed up at Joe's apartment to film. His idea to come over there, and I'm like, "Joe!" And he's like, "Shh."
This is one of my favorite bits.
And I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Okay, so this is my girlfriend's apartment, just so you know. She didn't say it was okay for us to film here, so we're actually not going to film in here. We're going to film in the lobby, and hope that she doesn't see the video." Because I'm gonna get in real trouble.
And just to clarify, he invited you.
He invited us to come over here.
And you didn't even...
it wasn't my idea to let's film in your girlfriend's apartment.
Exactly, but didn't he introduce the idea, like, come over to my place.
Yeah.
And it was your girlfriend's apartment.
So me and Jackie are sitting there quietly, waiting for somebody. He's like, don't leave any stray hairs. She'll know. She'll know if we were here. And we're sitting, and there's this shelf, and it's got a picture of him and her, or who I must assume is her, because there's lots of pictures of her in this apartment, and her and another guy. And I'm like, what's the deal? What's the story there? Because I'm looking for anything to talk about in this scenario.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what's the story over there? And he's like, oh no, there's nothing. It's nothing weird. It's not like she's dating both of us. He just died at 9/11.
I didn't hear that. Oh my god. You gotta become more comfortable with silence. You really do. This is a sidebar, but one time Ephraim and I went on a long trip. Yeah. You'll hear about that trip in a bit.
Yeah.
On the car ride back, it was like a 5-hour drive, and like we're on hour number. We're like 4.5, like 4 hours 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
And we're stuck in traffic on a highway, and we pass an IKEA, and we like it had been like maybe 4 minutes of silence. He goes, "So you ever been to an IKEA?" And I said, "Really?" That's how uncomfortable you are with silence.
Well, I'll have you know, I never got an answer.
Yeah. I was like, wow, we're doing this? Anyway, back to the story.
Anyway, so we're shooting this stuff in the elevator now because we got kicked out of the lobby. And we got we're quickly trying to do this thing. Her section ends up terrible. She's our best actress. And
it looks like it was shot on like a Nokia phone.
It looks like, because it was shot in an elevator. But anyway, we managed to raise $13,000. $13,000 with this shitty video, and we promptly waste all of it.
That honestly, we should have said it at the beginning. This is the story about how we wasted $13,000.
Yes.
Slash why you shouldn't shoot your pilot.
It's actually a story that I tell on second dates, and I'm like, you want to know how a male ballet dancer stole $13,000 from me?
That's a great That might be the title of the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, over the course of us working together on raising this money, Elijah, Lauren's boyfriend from before, who is a male ballet dancer, and he's got a kind of cool surfer dude vibe to him.
He's got he's got a relaxed pothead vibe to him,
and he's a good-looking guy,
handsome guy, sure,
very handsome guy. Gets everything he wants in life. Not really. I think he's actually not doing very well, but
I don't care how he's doing.
He starts editing some stuff for me regarding the trailer because we couldn't get Joe because he had been promptly kicked out of his girlfriend's apartment. The next time we see him, he's got a new girlfriend who he's also moved in with.
It's true.
It's true. But I'm now working more and more with Elijah. We raised $13,000 without Joe really helping all that much. He made some calls or whatever. And I call him up at the end. I'm like, hey, we raised the money. What do we do now? And he says, Ephraim, I gotta tell you, I think you're in the clear from now. You take it from here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
No, you're
This
mistaken.
is actually when you're supposed to start working.
Yeah.
And he says, no. I really think you and Elijah, you've got it made. You've got it clear. You seem like you know what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, where have you been the last 2 months? And he says, I gotta tell you, Ephraim, I've really gotten into gardening.
I've really gotten into gardening.
I've got 2 green thumbs, and they're pointing at this guy.
My heart rate is starting to elevate. This is a very painful story for me. Ephraim has found peace through it.
Yes.
I'm still holding on.
So we start doing it. Me and Elijah start going our own. We become co-directors of this project together.
Yeah.
Then we bring Ryan in. And Ryan's actually really cool because he saw the trailer on Facebook and hit me up. Not knowing who I was, I might have been a murderer.
Whenever we had met, we hosted a bad thing together one time. We were in this short film together. Whenever we were together, we always cracked jokes. The chemistry was always sorted there.
The sexual tension was clear.
Yes, exactly. Lots of boners. At any rate, I saw this. I was in a deep depression at the time, and I said, "Oh, you know what? Maybe this guy needs me to go pick up coffee sometime."
Yeah.
And so I said, "Sure, I could. Oh, well, you guys want any help?"
So you came in, and this was our first kind of test of how we would weather the storms together.
Yeah.
The first day that Ryan came to visit, and we talk about the project, we had been waiting to hear from an animator to make an animated theme song. And I don't even remember her name now. I feel terrible.
Laura, sweetheart, we're not talking about you.
Not Laura.
We're talking about a previous animator. Laura Mulrooney, she's an incredibly talented animator who actually did something for us.
Who actually did do something for us.
We hope to work. It'd be nice if she ever answered our text.
It'd be nice if she ever watched this.
But anyway, we're talking about a previous animator who will remain unnamed.
Elijah had found her, and he tried to set her up with me on a date. I think.
And you guys had kind of gone to the same school or something like that?
I don't really.
There was some kind of.
He had gone to something with her.
Sure.
I didn't know her. I didn't know anything about her. She was very friendly. She was very sweet. She said, "I love the idea of this. I love the idea of your show. I'll make it for free. As long as I get free range on making it, so I have creative liberty." Now,
kids, $13,000 seems like a lot of money, but when somebody offers to do something for free, you still say yes.
You still say yes. Don't you? This is not a horror story to learn from. This is just a horror story to laugh at.
Exactly. So of course you agree.
So I said, absolutely. If you want to animate for us for free, please go ahead. And her idea was going to be really cool. It was going to be all the characters popping up in clickbait type ads. And you were just trying to watch your video, and you were getting the credits like that. Very cool idea. Until Ryan shows up that day, and I'm like,
our first meeting.
Our first meeting. I want to show you. I just got some text from our animator. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see what she's done. So what she's done is she's taken actual photos of the live actors, me included, and she's drawn on top of them. Cool idea to save time. Except it's what she's drawn us doing, as an idea of making kind of inflammatory statements like what clickbait would be. She's drawn one of our actors. For our lead actress was smoking out of a huge bong, and I was like, that's kind of funny.
Okay, kind of funny.
Still a little alright, but a little funny.
Okay, creative liberty.
That's
fine.
Our second actor, Michael Piantini, a very handsome black man.
Great guy, Michael.
She had drawn maybe really one of our only people of color in the cast, unfortunately, making Molotov cocktails in a bathroom.
She sure did.
Making it look like he was a terrorist.
She sure did. She sure did.
And the last thing she had done was she had drawn me, and she had taken a picture of me going like this, and she had drawn me fingering someone.
It was insane. It was fucking insane.
She had, little cartoon lady in a bikini balancing on my hand here.
It was crazy.
And
for what it's worth, there's a high level of creativity required to do something like that.
To even think of that.
But it's like, we're trying to raise money here.
To make
ma'am,
our very kind of cutesy, cartoony show.
It's a cartoony, slapsticky, uplifting, kind of funny thing.
And so we promptly said,
hey.
Oh, hey, I love the idea. Is there any way we can kind of change some of this stuff? Maybe move. I'm like, hey, maybe even move the bikini girl like she's just behind me, just so I'm not forcing myself on this animated woman.
Yeah.
And she promptly texts back. She says, "This is why I never work with people like you."
It was surreal.
You say you lied. You said one thing. I had creative liberty. How could you possibly retract this? I put so much time into this. I was like, I don't know how much time you could have put into this, because I've been asking for pictures, and this is the first I got.
Yeah.
But we were like, I'm very sorry that it had to come down to like this. But this was Ryan. This is before Ryan even really knew. Ryan could have seen me with this, and I'd be like, this is hot, right?
probably would have agreed. Just because I was so depressed and I needed something. So I'd have been like, this is great.
It was the first time that something really kind of awful happened to us.
Yeah.
And we buckled down together.
Exactly. There's actually more to this story.
If you can believe it.
We're very over time for our halftime break.
Yeah.
So, we're going to take our quick halftime break. We'll be right back with the rest of this story.
When we start filming next time on Lost.
Bellhop Productions, Hear Me Out Podcast. Ryan Quigley from Bernie. We'll be right back.
Back.
Well, all they heard is come back.
Please come back.
Okay. Bellhop Productions, Hear Me Out Podcast. We're back. Before we get back to the story, a quick reminder that if you're not already subscribed on YouTube, please do that. Maybe leave a like or a comment on the video. Mm-hmm. You can go on Instagram at Bellhop Productions. Give us a follow. Same thing with TikTok.
Hey.
TikTok, which we've been doing okay.
We're very popular on TikTok now.
We've received over 60,000 views.
Over 69 likes.
And we're approaching, if we haven't broken it already, we've reached 500 followers we should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at 504 followers. Congratulations.
That's great. Hey, congratulations. This is a live reaction right there.
Yeah.
Really, we owe it all to Ryan. He had some very funny ideas.
They're so stupid. But they did. I mean, they're doing well.
They're doing well.
And then we did like kind of a riff on one of them that we posted yesterday, and it's not doing well at all. It's not doing well at all.
When they say 15 minutes of fame, they mean it.
They mean, no, you only get 2 videos.
You only get 2 videos.
I don't know. Anyway.
All right.
But yeah, let's get back to it.
So we started filming. We actually had a real-ass crew. Elijah had gathered a bunch of film students that he testified by would deliver the best product.
Pratt University.
Never
talk to anybody from Pratt. Just don't do it.
I don't want to put down Pratt.
That was aggressive.
Practically everybody who worked on the film was from Pratt, and the film is terrible. So,
well, but I mean, here's the thing. It was very clear. We heard after we did this is a glimpse into the future
that we had picked the bad crowd.
Well, it wasn't even that. It's that what Clickbait had kind of garnered this reputation as, these idiots are making a film. And they have money. We can rip them off.
Yeah.
It kind of developed that reputation as free money.
Free money.
And so it's obviously these people didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I hold a grudge. But of course,
my
brother might go to Pratt in a few years for college.
And
so I can't.
I hold something of a grudge against your brother.
Well,
too.
Sorry, Will. But anyway, yeah.
So we had gathered a crew together. Elijah had a proper crew.
We were shooting on an Ari Alexa. Which is uncalled for.
Totally uncalled for. If you don't know what that means, you're like me. And I had paid for it.
Yeah,
so
it's true. It's a very expensive camera.
We had a crack team of leaders, which was I was directing the actors and making sure that we stayed true to the story, and Elijah was directing the technical side of things, along with his new right-hand pal, a man named Meyer Shalom.
Meyer Shalom
was
he's enemy number 2.
Number 2 in this, I'm afraid.
Meyer, if you're watching,
we love you.
Watching.
Meyer, you're not watching, but if you are, we have the utmost respect for pulling off the con of the century.
That's the thing. I respect these people because they ripped a couple of idiots off. And that's all they did.
Yes.
And and they were able to. They got away with it.
So what happened? Essentially, a little glimpse into what Meyer is like. Elijah is this surfer dude. Meyer is a short kind of. He's very hairy.
Can I tell a quick anecdote just to give people a better picture of Elijah?
Yeah.
Throughout the filming process, whenever he thought something was funny, he would have like one of those horns.
Ah, yes.
So something mildly funny would happen, and be like, "Oh, whoa, boom, roasted."
He'd do something like that.
That was the pinnacle of comedy for him.
And he thought it wasn't like a parody of people that do that. He was the original.
Yeah, he thought he invented it.
So it's this guy, and then his best friend Meyer, who is
not even his best friend. He was just this guy that he idolized.
In this story, they're best friends. He's this tiny, short little guy, very hairy. He doesn't say. He will not speak.
I forgot how hairy he was.
He doesn't speak. In fact, he only speaks to Elijah. There are times where you can see him whispering in his ear, like they've got like a little book club together.
Exactly. Oh man, he wouldn't make eye contact with anybody. He was just.
And he'd be like, "Hey, Meyer," and he'd be like,
"Hi,
hello."
Hi.
But this was the man who was filming all of our stuff.
Breathing heavily.
And Elijah testified by him. He says, "This guy is a genius. He does everything right." So we're filming.
Which isn't possible when you're in film school.
Which is exactly.
It's not possible.
And within maybe the first hour, we've realized that no one has read the script.
No one read it.
Nobody who was filming it had any idea what this script was about. They were making mistakes. They were breaking continuity. We spent a whole day going back to film things we should have filmed the right way after filming it the wrong way the second time. It was hell on earth. We'd lost half the people who would come to work with us within the first day because Elijah had sent them home saying that they were in the way.
It was the stupidest thing. It was the stupidest thing that I could ever imagine, that I could ever see.
It was something. It brought so much joy. And my good friend Sebastian, who had signed on with, like, he wasn't being paid, he was helping out, he was there from the original, he had signed on to be assistant director, and by the end of the day, he was in the doghouse. Elijah had just because he didn't like him, had removed all power.
He was very mean.
It was a coup.
Sebastian. He was very mean.
In fact, on the second day, there was a moment where we were all in one of the producer gal's house. She's like, it's so much easier if we just all film it in my house.
Which
so
she was right.
It was. We had changed everything. We went to her and filmed her stuff, everything there.
Yeah.
And there was a moment late at night where she walked in and, like, Sebastian was just sitting on the couch, like he was eating, trying to not be cold outside, and she says, "What are you doing inside?"
It was crazy how mean they were.
It was just ridiculous. They're like, "Get back out there! What are you doing on my couch?"
Oh man, that girl sucked. She sucked.
It was really kind of.
She sucked.
Just kind of viciously pointed.
Yeah. They all sucked.
And I sucked too, because I watched Sebastian kind of sulk out there.
We all sucked. We would do things very differently. We did do things very differently. It still didn't work.
It still didn't work. Eventually, we're coming around. We filmed days. We've been screaming at each other. Elijah has made executive orders changing the script.
What a piece of crap. Never read the script, didn't get it. First of all, here's rule number 1. If you're going to shoot a comedy, make sure you surround yourself with funny people.
Yeah, that's the first step.
These people were all like, "Oh, art. Oh, wait, no." Like this guy is composing a shot. He's changing fucking like tchotchke in the background of shot. Mm-hmm. Because he thinks it's more beautiful.
And the best...
There was a tiny lens flare, like the size of a nickel. And he spent 45 minutes trying to figure out the fucking light to fix this fucking invisible lens flare. Do you remember that?
And I don't remember it because I was lying down crying in the other room.
Ephraim did lay down and cry.
I laid down and cried, and it was you and Michelle Martinelli
and Michael Piantini.
I was laying next to her vibrator.
It's true. He was. And I remember I have an image. I'll forget my father's name, but I'll never forget this image of, like, we were having this, like, sad moment where, like, we're all trying to calm you down. It's like, it's okay. We're going to get through it. It's going to come out. It's going to be good. Because we were having a horrible time, but our logic was, you know, if we're having this hard of a time, they must be good at their job. Yeah. At least it's going to be good. We're suffering, so it'll be good. Exactly. Yes. We're paying for it now. Yeah. Wasn't. But it doesn't matter. Yeah. And I remember Michael walking in and be like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" And you kind of laying down, you have a tear running down your eye. And you just go, "Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael. You're a good friend." Like you were dying. Yeah. It was and
you remember what happened after that was Elijah has been directing everything, and then he has, like, we've spent all this time, and now we have we're walking in this apartment that's got sticky floors that later burned down.
It did burn down.
This apartment later burned to the ground.
That's not a joke or exaggeration.
No, it's not.
Down.
Somebody lost their home. It's very sad.
Sorry for that laugh.
But things were just going. We had broken the camera, so we had to spend all day getting another one. And
stupid.
Elijah is sitting there. We've wasted all day. He's sitting in the bed that I was crying in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What's going on, pal? We got to get going." He says, "It's all hitting me now, man.
It's all hitting me now.
I need to take a break." I'm like, "What do you mean you need to break?" He's like, "I need to take a skateboard break."
No, he doesn't say it.
No, he says that.
He said a skateboard break?
He says, "I need to take a skateboard break."
Yeah.
And so I'm like, "What?"
In the middle of shooting, we finally started shooting.
Uh-huh. And I'm like, "What do you mean you need to take a skate?" And then he's like, "I can't talk to you. Bring in Ava. Bring in Ava." And Ava comes running. She's like, baby, what's up? What's up?" He says, "I need to take a skateboard break, baby." And she's like, Go, shoot. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah.
She actually was doing something right by us because we got more work done in the hour he was gone. He took an hour-long break.
He did. And because Ava just set up the shots, they called me in to help with direct the actors and stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, great."
And we actually got stuff done then.
Yeah.
But we're driving back because you had been assigned. You went back to being the driver after that.
That's true.
And you're driving me, Elijah, and Sebastian back home after nights. You had essentially been living with me for 3 days.
Yeah.
And every night we would come home crying.
We would come home crying. Poor Connie would cook us something, and we would just
1 o'clock
bitch
in the morning
about everything. I slept where I'm sitting. I slept here. I slept right here. Ephraim slept right here.
Yes.
I was there. There's a pull-out bed under me where I slept. Here.
Mm-hmm. So you're driving us back, and
stupid idiot. We're on 6th Avenue.
Yeah, and Elijah's backseat driving.
He's backseat driving. He's like delirious. He might have been fucking high or something.
Yeah.
We're double parked, and I'm waiting for him to get out. And I'm like, but there's people on my ass. I need to go out. And he's like, oh man, I can't figure out this door. I'm like, you just open the door. He's like, I can't figure out. I'm like, Elijah, I'm double parked. Come on, buddy, get out. He's like, all right, guys. I hope you guys. I'm like, get out. Are you fucking incompetent? You can't fucking open the door. You fucking incompetent piece of shit. He's like, oh, sorry, man, and he leaves.
But it's not just. It's what you did. You slammed your hands on the driver's
I blacked
wheel,
out.
on the steering wheel. You said, "You're fucking incompetent," and you get out of the car and open it from the outside.
I don't even remember that.
Coming into traffic.
Dumb idiot he is. He's
and
really
I remember me and Sebastian cheered for you when you got into the thing. It was so.
Oh man. And then the car rides back.
Yeah.
He would turn to Sebastian, who went to film school. He makes his own films. Sebastian has talent.
Yeah.
And he would turn to him and be like, Sebastian, did you learn anything today? Did you learn?
Oh my God, I can't even. I totally forgot that.
He was being so condescending.
Did you learn anything today?
And Sebastian just bit his tongue and he was quiet. And I think actually you turned around and said to him, and he was like, you were like, Elijah, don't talk to people like that. You said you snapped at him.
Yeah, I did.
He's like, oh, what? No, whatever. And so it was silent for a minute. And Sebastian goes, it was like 10 minutes of utter silence in the car. And Sebastian goes, so do you think this is what the Beatles were like? That's my favorite joke that Sebastian's ever told. Yeah,
and it's true.
That's true. It's true.
So we have one last day of shooting, right?
Yeah.
And this wakes up. We're already in a bad mood. We're waking up early. We've gotten home late. And we don't know where we're shooting. Do you remember this?
I do.
And we not only that, but we have a new makeup artist that we have to tell an address to go to because he's coming in from New Jersey.
That's right.
Uh-huh. And you're waking up and you're texting Elijah. You're like, I have to let this guy know where to go.
Yeah.
Where is it? And he's not getting back. And then he finally he's He says, "Oh, okay. Just tell him to go somewhere in Brooklyn."
Oh my God! I almost murdered him. That was the only time I was like, okay, I understand why people murder each other. Because somewhere in Brooklyn. I don't know if any of you guys I don't know. I'm assuming everybody who watches us either knows us or is from New York.
Yeah.
But if you're not in New York and oh yeah, no, that's a kind of in my town you go to
no,
Westbury.
Brooklyn's
Brooklyn's
its own,
a massive part of New York City.
Yeah. It's its own city essentially.
Yeah, and it's huge, and you can't just somewhere in Brooklyn.
Just somewhere in Brooklyn.
That's so
But
stupid.
do you remember what you wrote him back?
Of course I didn't. What'd I say?
What you said was, well, no, I think you called him. And you called and you were like, okay, you're going to do two things right now. You're going to tell me an actual address where I could send this poor child. And then you're going to take another fucking skateboard break.
Oh, boy.
When I tell people this story, I get to that point, and people are like, I gotta meet this guy.
Yeah, no, oh my God. Piece of shit.
So we show up to he tells us the name of a Thai food restaurant where we send this guy. We drive over there. It was
a Thai restaurant.
Yeah. We drive over to pick up this poor kid. He is stoned out of his mind. Do you remember this?
He smells like a dispensary. It was incredible. But then, we were like, sure, yeah, no,
Why not?
This totally matches the whole process.
Yeah, of course. Of course it does.
Yeah, it's fine.
So
he did his job very well.
He did his job great.
He was fantastic.
I don't know his name.
He was fun. I don't remember his name
Yeah,
either.
but he did a great job.
And do you remember that? Remember our original makeup artist
had come back.
She showed up. She was like, yeah, no, I got free early. I came by. And they were just drinking.
They were just smoking weed in our car.
They just started boozing. They had sippies with fucking booze in them, and they were just sipping.
But do you remember? This is when I knew that we were gonna keep up the friendship after the show. Was when we went to go buy condoms.
We were in such a horrible, defeated mood.
We went to go because we needed to prop condoms for the opening shot.
Exactly.
And we went to go buy condoms, and we got we were checking out, and I asked the cashier, I'm like, should I get ribbed ones? And she's looking at the both of us.
Just to give you everybody context, we needed to buy three things. We needed to buy condoms, we needed to buy a bag of potato chips and ice cream.
I remember you
together, the two of us. He's in costume. No, you're not in costume actually.
No, I wasn't in that shot. Yeah. Oh, but we were walking around, and you were like, "Okay, honey." But we bring this stuff. This is the only thing that ever went well for us. This one shot, the opening shot.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, because we are setting up this thing. We've got these condoms. We got the ice cream. We got blah blah blah. This girl. The idea is our main character is walking down the street. She's got her groceries. She's got the stuff. She drops and spills a bunch of condoms out on the floor. And some guy.
Very funny.
Very, very funny. And this guy, she has an awkward moment where she picks them up with this guy, Michael Piantini.
Tremendous guy.
What happened was, while we're setting up, we're in Brooklyn, and there are these two Hasidic teenagers
who have, first of all, if you remember correctly, there was, I don't know what, if something just happened, but everywhere were Hasidic Jews just walking the streets.
Well, you're in Red Hook, Brooklyn.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I guess so. I didn't remember where we were. And so these two teenagers were walking down the street.
And they were watching us.
They watched us because we have a camera on a tripod. People are acting.
Yeah.
She's in a minion
onesie. Again, very funny.
It really is hilarious. And so,
But you tap me on the shoulder and you're like, "Hey, wouldn't it be great if we got those two kids in the shot?"
I was like, "They should
be in the shot."
I was like, "Can we have one bit of fun?"
And I said, "Well, yeah, but how would we do that?" And you're like, "Don't worry, I got an idea." So you come over. Both of us walk over to them.
Yeah.
And to get a good idea, one of them is 7 feet tall.
One of them is really like big and beefy.
And the other one is very tiny.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like Ed and Eddie a little bit.
Right. And the big one, this has nothing to do with anything, but it's such a visual for me. He was smoking a cigarette on a plastic fork.
He was.
He had a cigarette and he put it on a plastic fork to smoke it. I guess so his fingers wouldn't smell when he got home.
I guess so. Yeah. But they're sitting and this big guy is. I remember him being terrified of us.
Oh,
he wouldn't say
scared.
anything.
He would not. Very scared.
But the little guy, clearly the brains of the operation here, is kind of conversing with us. And you say. I remember you saying...
It's crazy how I don't remember anything.
You said to him, he's like, hey, I see you're watching our stuff. We're making a film here. I don't know if you're at all interested. We'd love to have you like in for a shot. And he's like, oh, well, I do not know.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that my father might see this, and I'm not allowed to be.
Yeah.
And I said, oh... Your father's never going to see this.
Your father will never see this, man.
I don't think anyone will ever see this.
And they didn't.
No. But you could tell he's a little tempted, but he's like, well, I do not know. I worry that I am breaking faith. And then you say, I have an idea. Well, I want you to meet somebody for us. You stay right here. And you bring over our DP, Meyer Shalom. And you're like...
This hairy little hobbit. And I say, Meyer, meet Ezekiel. I think his name is Ezekiel.
Yeah, like Itzik or something.
Yes,
like
it's
Itzik.
Itzik, yeah.
So, and he's like... And the two of them look at each other, and they look at Meyer, and they're like... Shalom! And they're like, what kind of Jew are you, Maya?
And Maya just starts lying,
I think, well, what I remember from what I'd say is that he's like, I'm not practicing.
Yeah.
And they look at it and they go, we will do one shot.
If that's the way it happened, that's fantastic.
So we're setting up this. We're setting up
funny.
This thing. All Itzhak has to do is walk down the street, and when the girl falls over and spills her groceries, he has to stop and look surprised for a minute, and then keep walking.
Yeah.
Easy enough. So I'm explaining this to him, and he says, "No, I understand. It's a kidnapping, yes."
That's right. And I go, what? She's getting kidnapped.
I've seen movies before. I know. I understand. This is a kidnapping scene.
Kidnapping scene. The groceries, the falling, and then the kidnapping.
And I'm about to correct him, and then you stop me, and you say, "Let's see what he does."
Let him make this choice. And that's the take we use.
But no one who's listening to this is gonna get this. But I think it's too good to pass up.
Yeah.
Essentially, he is walking like what he imagines a normal human being walks like, where his arms are like this.
He's walking like this.
And he's like like Goldilocks walking down the street.
Yeah.
She falls down. Michael goes over to pick up the stuff. The second it happens, he goes like this. But
then the best part is,
he's like, he keeps walking.
He just keeps going.
And I remember both of us are dying watching this. And I say to you, that's how he would respond to a kid.
Oh, Christ.
And it's the first shot of it's the first, well, it's not the first shot anymore, because we realized that the film didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be the first shot of the film, and it's still my favorite one in it today.
Yeah, and there's a lot more, but we're totally running out of time. We have to get to our segment.
I gotta get to our segments. That's right.
But you know what I'll do?
Mm-hmm.
I'll put a link to the trailer.
Yeah, that's
in
a great
the description
idea.
Below. If you want to get a sense of it, and maybe who knows?
If you want to watch it, start a petition. If we get more than 5 signatures, we'll release it.
more than 5 signatures. Imagine. All right. So let's go. That's clickbait the show.
Let's clickbait the show. We might do a part 2 someday.
Maybe someday. All right, so let's go on to web fishing with Ephraim.
Hey there. Okay, so you've got 3 links over there.
You have to explain what
while
it
you
is,
pull them
boy.
up. Just pull them up. Web fishing with Ephraim. Since we were talking about clickbait, is I pick out 2 or 3 links every week where I explore the dubious methods that which companies use to
hook you by the mouth.
And see what click on our articles.
Yeah.
So if you pull them up there, I don't even have my computer on me right now, but but you gotta put because I remember what they are.
You don't remember?
I do remember
okay.
that one. So
yeah, I have the first
click
one.
on the first one there.
Yeah.
Is that the first one is I don't even remember what this one is. This is going terribly.
It's got Drake?
Oh, yes. So this one is you won't believe how much these celebrities' children look like them.
It's almost scary how much these kids look like their famous parents.
And they just photoshopped Drake down. They've just cut out his pieces.
It's very clear that they took Drake's torso and legs and then put on like they took off uniform scale and just squished the scale vertically. But kept his head the same size and then put him next to his legs. It's actually tremendous.
It's actually really impressive work.
Yeah.
I like the idea that these are just identical copies of their parents. And it makes you wonder what else they got.
No, I would love to click that.
Do you see any of the other comments on there? If there's anything good?
I didn't. Let's see.
But I don't.
Holy fuck, dude, that's hilarious. And somebody got upset. They go, someone would have to be pretty stupid to fall for it. Honestly, most people probably shared it because it was so stupid.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Okay. I know the last one. I know what the last one. But remind me what this next one is.
This next one is there's when she places a mug over an egg.
Yeah, this is really something that only maybe I will laugh at. But the wording of it, can you just read the wording they've typed it up?
So the link says when she places a mug over an egg, it doesn't get any better. And it's a woman who has an egg on a plate, and she's placing a mug over it, and then somebody posted on Reddit, and they go, nothing is better. Really?
I'm just thinking. It's written by 2 guys sitting on their porch, rocking back and forth. And they're like, when she puts that mug over that egg, nothing better than this.
When she puts that mug over that egg. Oh, I just opened the third one.
And the third one is the best one.
And it goes 25 people you won't believe exist. And it's this woman.
This woman whose body is a foot.
It's clearly this supermodel who they've let her shoulders and 2 arms and her head normal, but everything below it's 2 giant shins. So she has no torso or pelvis.
How does she get around? Where are her organs?
I don't know, but you're right. She has nothing to pivot from. She has nothing. She can't even walk. She has to hop perpetually.
Just the tremendous amount of pain it must be.
Can I read this comment?
What's the comment say?
Indiggy57 4 years ago said, there was an old lady who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. Something. She turned into a fucking foot. Yeah.
Oh,
that's a good one, buddy.
I don't know if anybody enjoys this as much as I do, but I'm so glad we do it every week.
That's a good one. Oh man, that's web fishing with Ephraim. I'll give that a clap.
Hey, web fishing with Ephraim.
Oh man, we're like 10 minutes over, so we're gonna zoom through what Ryan did wrong this week.
Did Ryan do anything wrong this week?
Oh, he sure did. So the Yankees were in the playoffs this week.
Okay.
Right? And so it was one of her friend's birthday parties.
Okay.
And MLB Network carried the game, so I couldn't watch it anywhere.
Yeah.
And there was a TV in the apartment. They could have put the game in, but they chose not to. So what I had to do is I had to go onto ESPN and listen to the game. So throughout the party, until the Yankees had an ample lead, I walked around with just one earphone.
Oh, like a douchebag.
Yeah, like a douchebag.
Yeah.
And I put my phone in my pocket, and first we went to dinner. I sat there. I was like, oh yeah, what's going on, guys? I was listening. I wasn't interfering with anything. First of all, I have very little to bring to the table.
Don't say that.
No, but it's actually true.
You've got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I got a YouTube channel. And so, I'm walking around. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm chiming in whenever I feel necessary. We go back to the apartment where the party is. I'm walking around, blah, blah, blah. And then, but that really upset her.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I can understand.
I was like, your friend, who is also my friend. I like her. She's a really good person.
Is this Jen Kopp's birthday party?
This is Jen Kopp's birthday party. Yeah, no, I'm excited to be there.
Happy birthday, Jen Kopp.
Happy birthday, Jen Kopp. And I said, with respect, she's going to have a birthday next year. The Yankees might get eliminated.
Wood, huh?
Yeah, I mean, knock wood, Jen. But, I said, this game might not, this game could be it for the Yankees. It was the first game of the playoffs.
They're not going to disband the Yankees.
Well, they might not make the playoffs next year.
Well,
if you're a diehard sports fan, tell me what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did I do the wrong thing? I fully acknowledge if I was a better person, I would have done that. But you know what I am? I'm paranoid, so I needed to listen to the Yankees.
No.
So that's what I did wrong this week.
That's what you did wrong.
And you know what?
Do you think?
I'm not sorry.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think this is like your relationship now? She's like constantly looking for things that you did wrong in order to be a good girlfriend and feed your content?
Let it happen, if so. Okay. But yeah, I think she actually is.
Uh-huh.
Let it happen. I'm not scared.
What I want, this is what I want. I want Chesk to be the real comedy writer here. I want her. She like starts working on girls or something. They bring girls back.
Imagine. Oh boy. Well, that's what Ryan did wrong this week.
That's what Ryan did wrong this week, folks.
All right. Well, we're 10 minutes over.
Do you want to attempt an improv?
I think we have to attempt an improv. Do you want to start it this week?
Yeah. I don't know how to do it.
All right. So this is what I'll do. I'll type in something. I'll press enter.
Oh, and I'll see what it is.
There's something I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So that's your prompt. Remember what it is, because I always put it in the description for our improv scene.
Okay. This is you're gonna need to do something else because this is
just work around it.
Yeah. Okay.
You have something.
I have an idea.
Okay,
right.
Great.
Let me call you up. Hey.
Sure.
Beep 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 beep.
Hello.
Hello there. Is this Dynamo Sushi?
This is Dynamo Sushi.
This is Dynamo Sushi.
How may I take
I
your order?
want to have my birthday party at your place.
Okay.
But I'm allergic. I'm allergic to shellfish.
Sure, shellfish.
Shellfish.
Okay.
And I'm allergic to rice.
Shellfish and rice.
Is there anything that I can eat there that doesn't have that in there?
We have an avocado salad.
An avocado salad.
It has spinach. It has spinach in a ginger dressing.
Okay.
And obviously avocado.
Does the dressing have shellfish in it?
No, we don't traditionally put shellfish in our.
Does the dressing have rice in it?
We don't. I don't believe so. I'll have to ask the chef. Hey, Paul. Paul, is there rice in the ginger dressing?
What's he saying?
Okay, he had a very he called me something that I can't say on the podcast.
What's he saying?
Is
that Paul who works at? I know Paul. Put me on the phone.
You want to talk to Paul?
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, she wants to talk to you. Okay, I'm gonna go get him. Hey, who's this?
Your colleague here just called me a woman. I'm in fact a man with a woman's voice.
Okay.
But Paul, this is
who the fuck is this?
This is Shelly.
Shelly.
This is Shelly.
Shelly from T-Ball.
This is Shelly from T-Ball. I want to come to your restaurant to have my birthday over there.
What? Why are you asking stupid questions about rice and the ginger dressing?
Because I'm allergic to rice and ginger dressing.
Who's allergic to rice? What kind of idiot are you?
I was dropped on my head as a child.
Oh, me too. You don't see me being allergic.
All right, put me on the phone with your nicer friend. I don't like you.
He just quit. He just quit.
He just quit? What was his name? I wanted to congratulate
his name?
him.
It was Joe Biden. That's it.
Oh, you didn't even let me get to the best part.
Oh.
She was gonna die.
Oh. Wait. How is she gonna die?
Dropping your phone on the floor.
Just throw my phone.
Oh, this is a shit show.
Yeah, well.
All right. Well, is there anything you want to say?
Please, if you
how overtime
are we? We're at 33 minutes.
Oh, fantastic.
If you guys know of any employment opportunities for us, please pass our resumes along.
We have 2 popular videos on TikTok.
Yeah, no, and don't get us started on Rumble.
Rumble.
Shout out to Badwick Productions.
Hey, Badwick. If you've watched this far into the video, you really are a good friend.
You really are a good friend,
Better than most of my real friends.
Yeah, we should talk about how we think Rumble is fake, but that's besides the point. Hope Vidya isn't watching.
Oh, boy.
Vidya?
She is actually one of the few people that does watch these.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, Vidya, I want to see the analytics because I don't understand how we have 60,000.
We're skeptical.
I don't understand how we have 60,000 followers and 60,000 views and basically no interaction.
60,000 views and there's only 50 people on the platform.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But really quick, I know we need to end this.
Yeah.
But
let's make this an hour and a half.
We've gotten no merch. We've gotten zero merch.
I think there's
Rumble.
a thing that we have to do. We have to write them, I think, to get the merch.
All right, we'll write them. I want to say
Badwick, if you're still watching, you have the stuff.
I think they just gave it to him because he's better than us.
That's maybe we have to get to 200 followers because he has 200 followers.
Ah, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're real.
Oh, I don't think any of us are real.
Yeah,
I don't believe in myself. I had a whole thing about like what our cartoon dynamic would be. Oh, we're never gonna get to that.
Our cartoon dynamic?
Because I've been watching the new season of Big Mouth and I'm like, oh, I feel like you and me are just Andrew and Nick.
Who's who?
I think I'm probably Andrew.
All right, fair enough. Anyway, let's end the fucking podcast.
Okay. If you hate Big Mouth, I agree with you.
All right, Bell Out Productions, Hear Me Out podcast. Thanks so much for listening. See you next time, guys. Bye.